Hello, Dr. Stock viewers. Welcoming you all to my new video. The topic for the day is actually a continuity video of Don't Try to Catch Falling Knife Part 2. This is specifically to analyze the high debit fields like banking stocks, NBFC, and real estate stocks. Whereas previously on our Part 1, we were seeing completely about the ultimate G score. So accordingly, we have some high debt companies, right? So that's all in the field of banking, NBFC, and real estate. So in this case, what are the other parameters we're going to see along with the ultimate Z score? If the ultimate Z score is below 2.99, what are the other parameters that you have to consider? Let me go ahead and start directly. So the two parameters, what you are going to discuss and what you are going to see if the ultimate Z score is down to 2.99 is two things. That is debt to equity, D/E, and the other one is interest coverage ratio. That is the two parameter which we are going to consider when the ultimate Z score is below 2.98. Let's straight away go to the two topics in detail. Now let me move on to debt to equity. So what is debt to equity is nothing but the total debt ratio in comparison with the equity. Means that the overall loan the company is having along with the equity capital, that is the preferential share, normal shares, and all other things. Similarly, we can compare it with the liability as well. It both are in the same terms. Total liability equal to total equity. So that means the same. So in this case, right? So the debt to equity should be less than 1. It should be less than 1. Means that it is a very good company. But in case of banks, NBFCs, and real estate, we could not able to do it. We cannot able to attain this. Reason being, their complete coverage is happening only on the debt basis. So in this case, if the D/E is greater than 2, means the lender is having 67% of rights on the company and the investor is having 33%. That is the reason for having D/E should be less than 1. So that is the way where we need to take. If it's going higher, then the lender will have control on the particular company. So in this case, what we need to do is we need to compare this with the peers. So how the peers is working in it, and accordingly we have to go and take the decision. So we are not going to see any case studies at this moment, whereas we are going to see about the next thing, that is the interest coverage ratio. And once that is done, comparatively with both, we are going to go for the case study. Now moving to the next parameter which we have to consider when this ultimate G score is below 2.99. The next parameter to consider is interest coverage ratio. That is this one. So interest coverage ratio is nothing but the EBIT. Interest coverage ratio is the ratio between EBIT to interest expense. Means that earnings before interest and tax to that of interest expense. Interest coverage ratio above 2 means it's good. Means that if no income for 1 to 2 months also, it is manageable. When the ICR is below 1 means the company is struggling to pay interest with its revenue. Let me make a simple example. What is interest coverage ratio? For example, you get a salary of around 50,000. Okay, the loans manageable for you at this moment would be like somewhat like 25,000. If that amount of loan is getting increased, right? So what will happen is your interest coverage ratio will be slightly shrinking. Means that, for example, if it's going to be 25,000, your interest expense, right? So your salary is 50,000. So for a month you are not getting a salary, then also it is manageable. But still, when your debt is close to the interest coverage you're paying is close to 50,000 and your salary is 15,000, then in this case you have a very big challenge in paying that. Means that you're losing your job due to some reason, or you're losing some of your money due to leaves. All these things will come into picture. Means that always the capital or the income you're having, right, that should need to be higher when comparatively of your loans in minimum of 2 times. Means that 25,000 is your interest payable, then into 2, that is your salary should need to be higher than 50,000. So this is the basic criteria of having the ICR about 2. That's the reason. Let's quickly move on to the case study on how to compare with ultimate Z score is below 2.99 and how to pick up the good best stock accordingly. Now let me move on to straightly to the PSU bank sector. Okay. almost all the PSU right now are having a very low ultimate G score. Reason being, it is completely the finance is having some affected, and there is some reasons like there is no finance is getting back to the company to this PSU banks at right time. So that is the main issues now. So when you go on and check the debt to equity, right? So debt to equity should be less than 2. So that is nowhere possible here. Reason being, they have huge debt at this moment. Okay, let's move on to the other field. Interest coverage ratio that need to be above 2, and none of the stocks right now here is having above 2. So in this case, you can go with some of the stocks which is likely to perform. That will take some more time. The government is giving some money to these banks, and so that will give some good grip for this company. For example, the best bet here at this moment would be like State Bank of India at this moment, like that. The reason being, it is having the highest interest coverage ratio. When you check the financials, right, see the value, the financing profit is completely gone. So this is the reason for most of the debt to equity and ultimate G score is having higher, lower ultimate G score and debt to equity. So reason being, this is the place where this complete companies got shrink due to this economic slowdown. That is the main reason here. So when you go for analysis here, you have to pick up a company which is having the highest interest coverage ratio into your portfolio. So that is the catch here. Similarly, go for the NBFCs. Again, NBFCs, you have to pick up a stock which is having highest interest to coverage. Accordingly, you have to go for it, and debt to equity, the same condition will apply to here as well. So when you go for highest interest coverage ratio, almost here everything is fine. Reason being, it's a private thing. So except Sriram Transport, everything is fine at this moment in this sector too. Moving on to the real estate sector. Real estate sector will also don't have that much challenge, but still some companies will be having issues. Let's check. See. Here also again you have to pick a company which is having above 2 debt interest coverage ratio. Ultimate Z also should need to be above 3. So accordingly you have to pick the company. So this is where you have to keep in mind on picking up the companies in basis of the banking, NBFCs and real estate. Thanks friends. So ultimate Z score will work comparatively with debt to equity and interest coverage ratio. So kindly keep in mind that ultimate Z score alone is not the guiding factor to choose the stocks. Along with that, you have to keep in tact of debt to equity and interest coverage ratios. Thanks friends. Thanks for watching my videos. I'll come up with some other new topic that will help you in future on all your tradings. Still then, stay updated, stay safe, and try to share all my videos to your trading friends and your trading circle. So try to join my Telegram channel, so which is giving an update on day-to-day basis. So thanks friends. Thanks for watching. Kindly do subscribe to my channel and stay updated to all my new videos. Thanks friends. Thanks for your time.